We should be live now. Let me just double check, make sure that I could see it on Facebook. One quick second. Video is live now. All right, cool. We good. All right, welcome. Welcome back to the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur Shift the Culture podcast. I know it's been a very long time. We haven't done a podcast in I don't know how many years now. We started this podcast way back in 2015, and we were doing shows for about 3 years. But I stopped doing podcasts back in 2018, and I just had to start back up because we have two very special guests on the show today. Kentisha, you all know her. She's been on the show many times before in the past. We even did a live show at BTVI with her, which was actually one of my favorite shows that we did because, I like to interact with people, and we got to interact with some of our students there at BTVI, where she teaches entrepreneurship. And so we had to bring her back, and she has a partner with her because they have an incredible venture that they just started. How long ago now?
So November 1st is the launch of our campaign.
November 1st. Okay, so They started very, very recently. So let me just go ahead and introduce these two powerful entrepreneurs here in the country. And like I said, you all know Tisha already, Kentisha Ward, and we have Regina Smith. Am I correct?
You're right. You're right.
Yes, Regina Smith. I think you're from Firehouse, right?
Yes, I am.
Firehouse. I've had your products before because I like spicy food. So I already had to patronize you way back in the day. You've been doing it for years. So I remember from way back, and of course, Kentisha with Pop Stop. She is the ultimate hustler, the biggest hustler I know. And I have to buy them popsicles by the case. So let's just get a quick background of who you guys are, where you started. Like I said, you have your own companies individually, and you came together to start Grow Food Lab. So just starting with you, Tisha, just give a little brief rundown of who you are so for the people that may not be familiar.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Kentisha Ward. I am the co-founder of Grow and the owner of Pop Stop Handcrafted Gourmet Popsicles. About 5-6 years ago, I started my popsicle company, creating local fruit popsicles, being able to work with local farmers, source local fruits, and transform them into finished, final value-added goods. And throughout that process, over the 5 years, we grew and grew and grew until we came to a point where we realized that the Bahamian market only had 300,000 people, and we wanted to see a market of a little bit more so that we could be able to create the volume that we needed to create to be able to reduce our pricing. So we started looking at export, and Regina was actually doing the same thing as well. And throughout the 5 years of us being small food entrepreneurs, Regina and I continuously worked together. So we said, instead of us doing this separate, how about we come together, create a vision, a combined vision, to whereas we can not only assist ourselves with exporting, but take the country to another level with assisting other small food entrepreneurs with exporting throughout this process. Because we realized, instead of me building one manufacturing facility for me, her building a manufacturing facility for her, another food entrepreneur building a manufacturing facility for themselves, is one big manufacturing facility. So why don't we create a facility for all persons to come and produce their items there, instead of having to pay all of the expensive overheads of rent, equipment, electricity? As a small food processor, now you can take your business from $10 to international.
Awesome. You can tell she's a professional lady. She's actually going to run out and do all of this that quick. Regina, could you please let us know how you met Kentisha and what made you want to partner with her to take on this great venture?
All right, thank you. So like Tish mentioned, she and I connected about 5 years ago. So Firehouse has been in existence for the last 7 years now. And so what we do is we manufacture seasonings, sauces, spices, condiments with all locally sourced produce. So whatever farmers grow in excess, we try to create a value-added product from that. And so throughout our entrepreneurship journey, we've always connected somehow, either trade shows or just phone calls. And so over the last year I had an opportunity to export to Washington, D.C. And so I went through the tedious and expensive process of figuring out how to do that. And so, just calling Tisha and just venting about this process and how much I've spent, and spending over thousands of dollars to just take a few cases to the US. I was like, we need to figure out a way to scale up allow access for Bahamians to have this export opportunity, because it's a great opportunity. There's a high demand for quality Bahamian produce and products. However, the means to get to market is costly. It's challenging. It has some serious lows, and it's very expensive. And so what Firehouse was able to do was go through the FDA process. So we went through the regulation, we went through the testing, and we were able to successfully export. So through that knowledge and that learning experience, we decided to join forces and create this FDA food facility that now brings together our expertise, our resources, our partnerships, and networks to say, hey, this is a space for all of us to come together, to cook, connect, create, and bring that community of food and togetherness that we always thrive and talk about. So that's kind of the genesis of how we started.
Awesome. Now, I want you to dive a little deeper into the exportation process, because you said you already went through it and you said it was very expensive, thousands of dollars. Let's get specific now, because I know a lot of people may be curious. A lot of people may be thinking about exporting. I know for me personally, I've been thinking about exporting. So let us know step by step what you had to go through in order to export your products, and give us an idea of the total cost.
So first of all, there has to be a market or an end buyer. And so fortunately, we had a trade show that was our end goal. And so we went through the process, and it was blindly. So I will admit at first that I thought I knew, but in going through the process, I realized that I didn't. And so I was able to get the boxes, get it shipped, get a local exporter to sign off on the customs duty, pay those fees. And what happens is, because there's no set, or I could not find a set procedure or process, you kind of figure it out along the way. So at every step, there becomes a cost. So a cost to get it to the shipper, a cost for them to prepare the custom export form, a cost for them to receive it. But so it went to the US, and the minute it landed, it was seized. And so here I am trying to figure out, what do I do now with thousands of dollars worth of products? The FDA has seized it now, and this has to go to the trade show. And so it took a lot of research, phone calls, some favors, some call-ins, and just using the network that I've created over the years through the U.S. Embassy and programs that I've been able to travel on their behalf. I've been able to call in some person. So I did make a few phone calls, and I did find a contact at the FDA that had the package in the US. And so from there, we talked about testing. And so they had to test all of our products. And if you get a negative result, then your products are released. If it's positive, they seize the entire package. So basically you've lost the cost, you have to pay for all of it. And they also give you the bill for testing. And so thankfully, we were able to pass that process. But what I did learn along the way was the steps needed now for the next time. And so we've been able to do it again now the second time. So we put it to the test, and we've been able to successfully ship out with a lower cost now, because now we understand the process and what it takes. Mm-hmm. And so you've learned along the way. And so rather than keeping it to ourselves or keeping it to myself, I said, Tisha, we need to figure this out and really make it affordable for Bahamians and other processors, because we know, just like how you said, you want to export as well. And so for the jams, for the jellies, for the lemonade, or for the beverages, this is now a space for you to come and say, hey, I can do the same thing. And there's a demand for it. So persons are asking for trailers of Bahamian products when I only sent 35 cases, I think. Really? So it's a drop in the bucket to what the demand is. And so we're saying, believe in us, invest in us, and let's come and work together to create this solution now and empower each other.
Interesting. Now, we all know, we're all entrepreneurs here. We know one of, if not the biggest, obstacle that we face is funding. And so I first learned about Grow just browsing on Facebook, and I saw it was listed on Arawak X, which is a crowdfunding platform here in the Bahamas, also a new business. And I know they successfully funded, I think, one company so far, which is for Red Lobster. And so when I saw you guys on it, I was like, wow, because I haven't heard of, I didn't hear about it. I know I talked to Tisha in a minute, but I didn't see any posts or anything about Grow. And then next thing you know, I see it listed on RWAC for funding, raising funds for this lab. So how did you go about deciding to crowdfund with RWAC? Like, what was that decision making process like? Because this is an expensive venture. So what made you decide let's go the crowdfunding route?
So with Regina and I, Greg, I'm sure you know, we've been entrepreneurs for a long time, so we've all been trying our hands at different rounds of funding. But we realized with an idea that was as big as this, we needed a different type of funding and a different type of access to funding. And when the RWAC platform came out, we've seen it as a way not only to allow one or two persons to own a part of the Bahamian future, but it gave us an opportunity to present our vision so it could be a part of all Bahamians' future. So now every single Bahamian with just $16, that's a conch snack and a lemonade.
Yeah.
That's a conch snack.
Boy, conch snack expensive these days. Hey, well, mother sec.
Yes. So that's a conch snack and a Bahamian-made lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take you to just one share of growth. So being able to invest in growth, investing in the future of all entrepreneurs. So we used RWAC because we realized that it gave more persons the opportunity of ownership of our future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what have you guys learned going through the process of getting listed on RWAC? Because when you dealing with financing and going to other people for money, you got to have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. So what was that learning process like? Just getting listed on RWAC, like for any other people that may be looking to go that route of crowdfunding, what should they expect or prepare for if they're looking to go on that route of RWAC?
So I guess I'll take this one. So what I actually had this conversation yesterday with someone, and I will say that what RWAC has taught us is discipline. Mm-hmm. And when we start off in our fields, we may or may not have a business license, we may or may not have a legitimate bank account. Mm-hmm. But what this has taught us is, in order to really establish yourself as a business, you need to be disciplined, but you also have to have the proper structure in place. And so, you have to get your incorporation certificate, a proper business account. And so there's a lot of foundational development that has to go into your business before being listed. Understanding your business plan, understanding your financials, having someone to really be in those advisory positions to provide additional support and additional information in whatever capacity you're lacking. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it has been rewarding because it's brought us, or it's connected us with our advisory board, with other supporters that are a part of this team that you really don't see, but they're behind the scenes and they're really motivating and pushing us, but they're also helping us to create a structure that is conducive for investment, that allows us to be confident in what we present to the people. And it's also a way for you to say, you can trust, and you can also ensure that what you see is what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. And so understanding that what you present to the public now has to be reality and has to be legitimate. And so I definitely think it's an awesome opportunity for other entrepreneurs, for other interested persons that are looking to find creative ways to raise financing, to reach out to the investment and equities team at RWAC. And they're amazing in providing you with additional information and support. And so definitely, if that is the road that you want to take, go for it.
Most definitely. Tisha, anything else that would you learn from your perspective?
Definitely to cross my T's and dot my I's. Like you said, as an entrepreneur for so many years, with us running our own businesses, there are little things that we can get away with. When it came to RWAC really instilled discipline in both of us. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm very grateful for my partner as well. But they really instilled discipline in all of us for what we need to have presented for them and what we need to present mm-hmm. our possible investors, and how we need to present it to them, and when we need to provide for them. Amazing learning experience going from a small business to a big vision. I learned so much over the past year. It's amazing. And I just can't wait to be able to work with other businesses to help them to grow to this level.
Most definitely, because I know from personal experience, now I didn't go the crowdfunding road. I had to get financing from an actual bank, and we all know how that is, the kind of headache that is. But it was like like you said, going from just being, you know, a small business, working from home or whatever, to actually going to financial institutions. Listen to me. They ask you for everything under the sun. The amount of forms and everything you have to fill out, all your banking. You better keep all your statements. You better have everything, a record of everything you spend, because it's tough. It's rough. And so it was a major lesson for me as well. And that's why when Regina said discipline, I was like, exactly, because that's the word that comes to my mind as well. It really teaches you to be disciplined, especially with your finances, and that's the only way you're going to grow as a business. And so let's talk about the investment, because we're going to wrap up soon. So let's let people know, people that are interested. Now, like you say, I got to choose between a Conch Snack and investing in a business. I know what I choosing. Now, I know some people might choose the Conch Snack, but for the people that want to choose to actually have some ownership in your business, how can they invest? How can they find out more about Grow? And how can they go ahead and invest?
Regina, you want to go ahead, or you want to let me go ahead? Okay. Okay. So to invest and grow, what you need to do is you need to head on down to rwacx.com. If not rwacx.com, you can go to growbahamas.com, and you'll also see an invest link there. And you want to sign up for the RWAC form. No matter which link you click, it will take you to the RWAC form. You're going to need your passport and proof of address. So this could be a phone bill, voter's card, anything with your name. That's proof of address of where you live, along with your debit card. Of course, we're going to need your debit card or Sun Cash, so that you could be able to make the account transfer of your shares. And once you sign up, you have all those documents, you upload them, you then let them know how many shares you want to buy. They then go ahead and they do a verification process, and then they get back to you and let you know how much shares you've already purchased. So it's a very, very easy process, less than 5 minutes, and you can own a part of a Bahamian company. Less than a Conch Snack.
I just going to say that's less time than it take to get the Conch Snack too, because you know them conchs take a little long.
You're right. You are correct.
Yeah, them conchs take a little while, but you always know what people order, because you standing there with number 13, you hear them calling all the numbers before and after, and you still you know they ain't order no chicken. Yeah. That taking far too long. All right, so let's talk about. I think when we spoke before, there's a limit on the time you have to raise the funds. So first of all, how much total are you guys looking to raise, and what's the time frame that you have to raise these funds? Because we need to let the people know that there is some, you know, there's a urgency to raise it. You know, you can't wait 6 months next year, or I can do it down the line. Let them know exactly how much time they have to invest.
So the time to invest is actually now. We have a deadline of January 30th. So within 80 days. So 90 days originally is how much each business is given to raise their minimum. So there's a minimum amount that Grow has now of $800,000 and a maximum of $1.8 million. So what that means is that at $800,000, your investment has been secured, and anything else now is what we will then earn as, you know, as the raise goes on. And so we're encouraging persons to, you know, register now, because you can register and sign up now and get that confirmation, because you have to be confirmed first in order to invest. And so we encourage you to go to rwacx.com, sign up now, and then prepare yourself and, you know, look at your budget, because you can buy as minimum as 1 share or as max as you want. But we're encouraging you to, you know, check us out, ask questions, get to know us, and we're accessible. We've always been accessible to, you know, to individuals that have questions in whatever field they're in. And so we're encouraging you to sign up now and begin investing. It's a great opportunity for you to be a part of a business that is supporting Bahamians, and we're true to what it is that our motto speaks of. We're empowering Bahamians at every step of the way when it comes to food production in the Bahamas. So from the farmer to the processor to the chef to the distributor, and just to those that like to eat, this is a space for you now to come with us, connect, cook, create, and just have a great time together.
You see, that's people who like to eat. That's plenty of people. So we should have all kind of people go in and sign up now, because I know I don't know nobody who don't like to eat. And you said you guys are accessible. So how can people reach out to you guys if they want to ask you some questions? Because, you know, I hear some people. Well, I can hear people saying, "Now, $800,000, that's a lot of money." Eh? Listen, let me tell you all something. Business ain't cheap. Equipment expensive. I could tell you now. Listen, if I was to buy me one 60 quart mixer, brand new. That's probably about $30,000.
So
You
wait until
understand?
you see the baker's corner. So you're gonna have mixers, you're gonna have blast chillers, and so these are commercial grade equipment, and it's gonna come with the maintenance, the solarization. So that reduction in cost, it will be felt from the processing end to the distribution end. So
You say solar?
I given you some of it.
All right. I like the sound of that. I like that sound because we know BPL ain't the most reliable. So if you don't,
and we've all experienced loss of equipment and supplies as a result of BPL. So that risk and that cost mitigation is now there, and so you're able to be a little bit more secure in your pricing structure and how you present yourself to the public. And then one thing I wanted to touch on before we wrap it is the training opportunities. So no longer will you have to figure this out on your own. Just like how Firehouse went through their process and guessing and spent so much money, we're now bringing those resources to you. So whether you have an idea or you have the best barbecue sauce in the Bahamas and you now want to bottle it, you can come. Our production team will assist you in preparing that for commercial consumption and walk you through those steps. So from packaging, nutritional label, to now a market or a distribution chain, there's an opportunity for you as well, or there's a place for you.
Awesome, outstanding. Well, I see Kentisha drop out, and internet must drop, or maybe that's probably BPL current might have cut off too just now. But one more time, Regina, let people know how they can get in contact with you if they want to ask you some questions.
So so you can reach out to us on our social media platforms at Grow Bahamas or growbahamas.com. Our email address is there, our phone contact is there, and then also to sign up for investments is rwacx.com.
Awesome, outstanding, Regina. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for
Listen, I like I say, if I had to choose between Council I can invest in, I can invest. So most definitely, I will be buying some shares. I know how much yet, but I will be definitely getting some shares and supporting it because this is something that is greatly needed. Especially how you said, you're going to help with testing and getting the labels, the nutrition facts, and all of that stuff. Yes. So most definitely, this is something that is definitely needed. And I will be supporting, and I encourage everyone else, anyone tuning in, please go to rwacx.com, look over, do your research. You know what I mean? I ain't saying just go and throw your money if you feel
exactly. Research, and understand that investment is a risk, but we believe in the product that we're bringing to you, and we've done all the risk in terms of entrepreneurship for the last 7 years. So we're willing to take that risk, and we want to invite you to enjoy that journey with us. And really see businesses grow in the Bahamas the way they should.
Most definitely. So once again, please go ahead, rwacx.com. Invest that money. Is going to be worth it. I have faith. I know I have faith in y'all. Like I said, I already patronized 2 of y'all businesses. I didn't buy my peppers. I didn't buy my cases of popsicle from Kentisha all the time. And I've seen how you guys have been running your business over the years. And so I have faith in your ability to pull this off. And so I will do what I can to support it. And I encourage everyone else to do the same. So Thank you so much once again, Regina. All the best. We appreciate it. Peace out.
All right. Good evening. Bye.